how long ago does your family not like your son? Because why do you do this? Everybody here, every naysayer, I got a question. Why do you do this?
People, again, don't understand people's experiences. Success is not achievable alone. We all have a story of a person who took a risk, someone who imagined a life greater than what we could, someone who stood in the gap. This show shares those someones, those unsung heroes who pushed us when we could have settled for what is. I'm Derrin Slack, and this is Stood in the Gap, the show that focuses on the who, not the how, behind a leader's success. All right, friends, I'm so excited because I have one of my closest friends, Bernard Mickle, here to join us on Stood in the Gap podcast. And I'm joined today by our youth co-host of the month, and that is Marquis, and he is from Circle City Prep. And I'm so excited to have you both on the show today. So, hi, Bernard. Hi, Marquis.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to be here.
Are you?
Yes.
Why?
Well, first off, I can't even lie to you. I decided to do this on fall break, and it took a while for me to even get to this. But anyways, I felt like this was something I would have fun doing. So guess what? Here I am.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Bernard, how about you? Are you excited to be here?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to be here, man. This, as I said, this is the highlight of my day right here. I'm ready to have fun with Marquis tonight.
Awesome. Marquis, how old are you?
12.
You're 12? Okay. You're a little bit younger than my son. He's 14. That's good.
Flipping God.
But to all of our listeners, if you're new to Stood in the Gap, we always like to start the show off with a little game of this or that. And so this game is a quick rapid fire game to let our audience and listeners know a little bit about our guests. So I'm going to ask some questions, a series of questions. I'm not going to tell you how many, but they're going to be quick, rapid fire questions. And I want you to say the first choice that comes to your head.
I'm ready.
It can either be this or it could be that. Got it?
Yeah.
Do you understand the assignment, Marquis?
Well, yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Are you ready?
We got it.
Yes.
All right. First question. America's Got Talent or American Idol?
America's Got Talent.
America's Got Talent.
Simpsons or Family Guy?
Family Guy.
I don't watch it. Okay, Simpsons.
Oh, I love Family Guy. Running or walking?
Running.
Running.
Baseball or football?
Football.
Baseball.
Oh, why
Ooh.
baseball? Pause.
Because I
You don't like football? Marquis.
the ways that
the
I had
American
to grow
sport.
up into football are ways that I don't even like.
I understand.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Matching
horror
or
story with
mismatched socks?
Matching. What the heck? Is that even a question?
I do matching,
Well,
but I do a lot of
look at
mismatched
my
socks.
Look at my socks. They're mismatched.
I do a lot.
Unless I'm
I do
at
mismatch as well
home.
sometimes.
You do
Unless
mismatch? I have gray and I have gold.
I swear, unless I'm wearing shoes, nobody can see my socks. Or unless I'm at home, unless I'm chilling with the fam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my thing, I like the same type of sock, but different colors. Does that make sense?
Exactly, you're wearing
Yeah.
the same type of sock.
But they're different colors, right?
I don't do it
Is that
intentionally.
even really mismatched?
Same pack.
Yep.
T-shirt or button up?
Button up.
T-shirt.
Taco Bell or McDonald's?
Taco Bell.
Dang it. I'm gonna have to say Mickey D's.
Okay. Breakfast or no breakfast?
Breakfast, most definitely. I'm not trying to have an empty stomach.
Eggs or pancake?
Pancakes.
Pancake.
And did you say breakfast or no breakfast?
What I do, I rarely eat breakfast, but I would like to eat breakfast. So breakfast.
Breakfast. Comedy or romance?
Comedy.
Dancing or singing?
Singing.
Singing.
Dine in or delivery?
Dine in.
Delivery.
Facebook or Twitter?
I don't go
Facebook.
on those, but for sure.
No, definitely be out here on Facebook and Twitter.
Flying or driving?
Driving.
Flying.
Driving. Oh my God.
Fruits or vegetables?
Fruits.
Vegetables.
Vegetables, Bernard?
Yes.
Oh my.
What? I would not tap you for a veggie
I love vegetables. Didn't eat them growing up though.
guy. Okay.
Probably why I love them now.
Horror or comedy?
Comedy. I don't do it.
Hunting or fishing?
What do you mean by
Hunting or fishing? Two different types of hunting.
I would rather go hunting.
You rather go hunting?
what
And
type of
fishing.
hunting? We're talking about the hunting where you're in
Any
the water
kind.
grabbing the fish.
Deer.
Just hunting or fishing?
Fishing. I'm not trying to run into a bear.
Okay.
That's possible when you're hunting.
Okay.
I wouldn't even know how to start. I would probably
You
just
stand
walk
still.
away slowly.
Stand still, put your arms up.
Right.
So
Or
someone
curl
told
into
me-
the fetal position.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is though.
Now,
Yeah.
what is that?
I just seen
You're
it
not
in
going to
movies.
try it.
I wouldn't try
So,
it either.
last question then. Movie or music?
music.
Music.
Who's your favorite artist, Marquis? Your favorite music artist?
Oh.
Like who you listening to right now? Lil Tecca?
Now, if we have to go with people who are, you could say, with this, I'm not even gonna lie to you. If we have to go with people who are, you could say, with like, okay, I'm not even gonna say with Tom because I'm not old.
Okay.
But anyways, Juice WRLD or Michael Jackson.
Okay. Okay.
MJ, okay.
Okay. And you said movie.
I said singing.
Music.
I
or
said
movie.
music. I'm sorry.
Then who's your favorite artist, Bernard?
My favorite artist of all time is Lecrae.
Ooh, I love me some
Yep.
Lecrae.
Oh.
Okay.
Second would be KB.
Do you know Lecrae?
No, not at all.
Yep.
Lecrae is a Christian rapper.
He's a rapper that's a Christian.
I can't even lie to you.
Okay. Yes.
I
He's
can't.
a rapper that is a Christian.
Yeah.
That's right.
I can't even lie to you about.
Don't knock him until you listen.
No, I can't lie to you. I'm not Christian.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yep.
That's okay.
The music though, that's what I like about him, man. He I got to watch. I had the opportunity to see his career evolve, and as a new believer himself convert,
Yeah.
he rapped
God,
very particularly Christian, and then he learned that there's people like Marquis who may not believe the same thing he believed, so he started making music for people,
Right.
and where a lot of people, regardless of your religion, identifies with his music, and that's what I love about him the most.
That's good.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Bernard.
Yep.
Yeah. So Bernard and Marquis, so we're here today to have a conversation to get to know each other, and for our audience to get to know you both. And so this is an opportunity for us to have a great conversation, a great open, vulnerable conversation. And this show is all about the people that have stood in the gap for other people. So Bernard's here, dressed up. He's overdressed today, isn't he?
I had an important
Isn't
meeting. For no reason. I was thinking about that. Like, I didn't know he was gonna be on camera.
It's okay. Yeah, so he's here, and Bernard has had some success in his life. And this show is all about leaders in our community and in the business world who have had some success in their lives. And I'm a firm believer that if you have any level of success, you didn't do it alone. Right? There's someone that has helped you get to where you are today. And just like you are being taught in your Pro Act Club to stand in the gap for others through service, we want to hear the stories of leaders who have had others stand in the gap for them. Is that cool? And so I have Marquis here to interview Bernard with me. And so we're going to start off with some questions. We have some questions prepped and planned. And so I'm going to have Marquis ask the first question for us to you, Bernard.
Okay.
Let's go forward.
As a child, who was your biggest mentor?
As a child, who was my biggest mentor? I have to say Darla Steele was my biggest mentor because she was the most influential. What she did for me when she stood in the gap drastically changed the trajectory of my life. In other words, if you remove her from my picture, I'm not sitting here right now. I'm sitting somewhere probably totally different. If I can be blunt, I'm either sitting in a jail cell or I'm sitting in a grave. And particularly, she stood in the gap by helping me learn how to read when I was in third grade. So I had failed already, and I failed for the second time, and she stood by my side, and she got me the help I needed, and she spent the extra time to help me learn how to read, and that changed my life. And since spending time with her as my teacher, I've been honor roll student. And so if you didn't know me beyond third grade, you saw me as someone who was extremely high academic and really smart, or so-called a nerd, if you will. But prior to that, I was considered special ed and a slow learner and who couldn't read. So that was my biggest mentor. Shout out to Darla Steele.
Yeah, so what does she do in your life that really helped you get to where you are? So third grade, you can't read, and what was that like?
Oh, well, it made me angry, honestly. It was embarrassing. I look back and think on that time. I don't know if I was processing that. I was so young, but I got in a lot of trouble. When people would laugh, I would get upset and get angry. I would refuse to listen, so I can get kicked out of class. So I wouldn't get caught on, so I wouldn't have to do work, so I wouldn't have to be embarrassed. And so she made me more confident, and honestly, she helped me believe in myself, Marquis.
Love to hear it, I honestly do. You could ask me the same question, I would probably have an answer.
Well, what would you say? It's like
most of the people that will be my biggest mentors consist of music, mom or dad. And for today, I'm going to put aside the mom and dad. I'm going to go with music.
Oh, are you going to put aside your mom and dad?
And go with music?
Yes, for this one.
Okay.
So why
music? Now, for real, it wasn't until a while since I started getting into Michael Jackson, listening to him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his songs, I don't remember the name of the song.
Well, how's it go?
But
Sing
I believe.
It.
I'm sure we probably know.
But I'm pretty sure that the name is They Don't Really Care About Us.
Oh, yeah. How's that go, Bernard? Because you chose singing over dancing. Why they really want to
play that tune?
They really care about us. That song?
Thinking back on what I've learned in school, his songs remind me of some pretty bad things that used to happen. And all it makes me think is that I'm glad that it doesn't happen today. And that, first off, man sings so good. Inspiration makes me want to rise up to challenges.
Yeah.
And do my best.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's awesome, Marquis.
Yeah, so songs make you happy. His songs make you happy. Right?
Now.
Is that accurate?
Yep.
So then that's my next question for Bernard. What do you think happiness is?
Oh, that's like the question of humanity, right? For me, is happiness. One word that comes to mind is peace.
Ooh, peace.
When I think of happiness, it's like, you want to make me happy? Give me some peace. And when you grow up, how I grew up in an environment that was chaotic, where
want some peace.
Exactly. Say it again, Marquis.
You want some peace every once in a while.
I grew up without peace.
What was chaotic?
The home,
yeah,
the community, family members, seeing people, having my own mom addicted to drugs, alcohol, seeing family be murdered, seeing friends be killed because of decisions they made in the community, seeing disparities, seeing members of my family and cousins and friends be kicked out of their home, just seeing all that stuff, man, in my own home, moving in as much as I did. That kind of created a lack of peace, so it was everybody was on the edge all the time. And it's understandable. As an adult, I get it now. If it's hard to pay bills and, you don't have a steady income or steady place to live or steady transportation, it creates a lot of friction amongst other people. That's understandable. And so it created a lot of chaos, you know what I mean? But I now get to tell that story, and that's the beauty of it. So now for myself, I recognize peace is what makes me happy, and so I pursue that peace.
And where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Chicago, south side of Chicago. Caprini Green Apartments is where I first started, and we lived a little bit in Palatine, which is suburb of Chicago, but it ain't suburb like here. Yeah. It ain't suburb like here.
So Caprini Green, is that where Candyman is? Yeah. Is that the same complex?
I think so.
Really? Okay.
It's been tore down since then.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, them places been tore down. And displaced a lot of people, though. That's the thing. Right. Thousands of people. So, but then I moved here to Indianapolis and then like my later years of life, late elementary, middle school, high school here in Indianapolis. So lived on the east side.
Awesome. Yeah.
East side.
So what questions you have for my man Marquis here?
Marquis. So I heard you the world's most interesting young man. So what makes you most interesting?
Let me say one thing.
Go for it.
I never said I was the world's most interesting man to be first.
I said I heard.
We recognize you as the most interesting man.
Yes.
But anyways, I don't even think that I prepared for this question because first off, there are a lot of things that you need to know about me to flip and figure out what you could define makes me interesting. And I can't
so
even
give us
lie to
two
you.
things.
And I can't even lie to you. I've said one of the most important things to me. And all I want to do is make sure that my family's safe.
Mm.
There are some times when I get angry a lot, especially with my family.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, they're family. You're going to have to get over it. Family sticks through stuff thick and thin. Though they are the people you're always going to be able to depend on. So never discard your family.
Mm. What's the best thing you like about your family?
We're a very fun, loving, happy family. Even when it comes to times where we get into arguments, we have fun. And we make up. We all know that there is one thing that we could do better.
What's the one thing that you can do better?
For me, probably has to be listening. There are a lot of things that I miss because of not listening. I'll be in school and I'll be flipping distant and I will somehow find a way to get inside my head and miss the teacher. Like one day, our teacher, there was something that we needed for homework and I'm spaced out. Oh, hold on, what now?
Yeah.
After the day we grab the homework, I don't have the thing.
Yeah.
So I only do the things that I can do.
Yeah.
I used to be the same way.
I can identify as well.
I'm like that right now. Like I have ADD.
Yes. Yep.
And
ADD?
ADD.
Is that the grades? Or what are you talking about?
That's
Attention deficit
disorder. Yeah. And so I have a hard time focusing. And if it wasn't for my meds, I don't know what I would be doing.
Right? All over the place.
And so I get it. Yeah. And so Bernard, you have a family. So talk to us about your family.
I really had a question for Bernard.
You had a question for me?
Why do you think that without what's your name again? Or
Darla Steele.
Darla Steele, you would be in jail or a grave? Why do you think that?
That's a great question.
That is an amazing question, man. Yeah, I take that.
Me so.
Right here.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking that. Obviously, again, hindsight, data shows that statistically, especially young Black boys who get to third grade and are illiterate, practically, in other words, can't read, not on grade level, and probably cannot write. And I still can't write. Write very sloppy. My penmanship is not good. It shows that they are more likely to lead into a life of crime. They are more likely to drop out of school. And so when you take those things, more likely to be a part of crime or drop out of school, well, it's only two things that happen usually for men who look like me when we pursue those two things. You either end up in jail or you end up dead. And that's just the two ways that ends up statistically for Black and brown men like myself. So, yeah.
You know, I really regret asking that question.
Why?
Well, that does not sound like something I needed to hear.
Why is that?
I really just don't like hearing stuff like that.
Yeah.
What, the plight of Black and brown men?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk to us more about
Pretty
that.
much. Funny enough, we already went through the slavery in our class thing.
In school, you mean?
Yep.
Okay. And so how does that make you feel to learn about that
I
history?
can't even lie to you.
Well, how does it make you feel to learn about that kind of history?
I can't even lie to you. I'm learning about this. It wasn't an experience for me, you could say.
Why? Like,
There were some
tell us
things that
more.
I thought about this and some things that I am. It really made me glad that that's not the world we live in today.
Yep.
Yeah, things have changed a lot, but a lot of things stay the same.
Now, funny enough, I've heard of flipping cops shooting people for no flipping reason.
That happens.
Now, I can't even lie to you. What's wrong with you? What? What's the reason? Please do give me a reason. I want to know.
The reason for, like,
What's the reason for all the shooting? What's the reason for all the unfairness? Because even till this day, there is still some racists going on.
Yeah, it's a great question.
yeah, I think it comes down to, like, that's great insight,
Yep.
right? But I think it comes down to people just don't understand the experience of another person.
Nah, one of my classmates really must be weird or something must be wrong in the head for
Well, I want
saying
you to
this.
listen. I want you to listen, Marquis, right? Because some of our problems as a society and as a people come down to us not understanding one another, right? Especially if we're different than someone.
I get it, but why the heck would he say this? And he's black too.
Well, what did he say?
He said, "Go pick my cotton," and he's
Well,
black.
sometimes people's
What?
experience. That's what I'm saying. Like, people's experiences cause us to say and do things that may not seem right to someone who doesn't have that same experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, somewhere in his life or another person's life, they may have thought that saying something like that was okay.
Yeah.
And for us as leaders, it's
No,
not,
this dude probably did.
well, let me talk. Yeah, for us as leaders, it's not, we have to recognize that how we react to things just further encourages behaviors from other people that we might not like.
Yep.
Does
And
that
that
make
goes
sense?
for so-called your classmates or people who work in a professional realm with us as leaders. It's the same. I would argue it's the same response.
I really don't get why you're a black person that you said that. I really don't get that still.
Well, it all depends on where he came from with that. Could have been, emotionally how he felt. Could have felt like you, and the way he responded to it was to joke about it and make light of it.
Legit.
Something that's
This
so
man's
serious.
talking to his friend saying this.
Right.
So,
And even his friend says something like, "That's racist." But that's not even racist because he's also black, technically. That's still a little bit.
it's an insensitive
It's-
comment.
It's just not, it's just a lack of understanding,
Yep.
right?
The depth of that comment.
The lack of understanding. And so for both of you, here's my question. What do people misunderstand about you?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm gonna take this from Marquis. Man, I'm growing in this area. To tone it down, my passion is often misunderstood, and it has often been misunderstood most of my life. Passion and how passionate I am has always been misconstrued as anger, frustration, lack of control. But often I saw it as passion, zeal, a crave for life, a crave for change, a crave for equality, justice. And so I've always had a heart for that. And so anytime in any situation, I've always been an arguer because I've always been passionate for things that are right. So that's probably the most misunderstood thing that I often find people misconstrued about me, to where when I meet people, I always have to tailor it down until they get to know me, get more context of me. So when a passion shows, they know where it's coming from, and they're more acceptable of it. But like Derrin said, if you never met me and I come with that passion and fire, it can be very off-putting at times. Like, whoa, calm down. I don't want to interact with him again. It was too much. Like, why did he get so upset? you know, and I'm like, I'm not upset. I'm just passionate about what, you know, the conversation we was having.
You care too much.
Yep.
Right.
I care too much, man. Like, calm down. It's not even that deep. And then that'll fire me up more.
You know what?
Yeah, what do people
what about
misunderstand about you, Marquis?
I don't really know if I can answer this question a lot because I don't even know a lot about the other people. But there's one thing that I'm going to say for myself. I got anger issues. And I will say this. I really don't care. I don't care what you say. I'm going through what I'm going through. I'm trying to fix what I'm trying to fix. If you're not going to help, get the heck out of my way.
That's understandable.
I don't need people trying to down me, trying to make me feel bad about myself. I don't need it.
Yeah.
And I even said this in one of the proact things. If you're not willing to get away from somebody you thought was your friend until they started doing the stuff that they're doing now to you, yeah, you're probably not going to be the person who's going to be doing the best stuff. You're probably going to stay with the wrong people. And I can't lie to you.
You haven't lied this whole entire time.
I still.
And you made it known. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, I'm going to start saying that.
I can't lie to you.
I can't lie to you. Back in the day, I could control my anger less and less. I could control my anger less and less back then.
When I first met you, Marquis, you were a very angry person. But going through our program and then going
Please
through
do
and learning
enlighten me
things.
on how you figured that out. Please do enlighten me.
You always, you were. Like, what you're saying is true. I'm validating that, right? But I've seen you grow over the year and a half.
I know, but I want to know how you figured that out because I don't even know whether I did that type of stuff to let you know that I had anger issues inside.
You did. I remember. It was 2020. During the pandemic, we used to come to your school, and you would get angry a lot. You would.
For what?
And I had to calm you down a couple times. Reason. It was always a reason, right? Which I get, but I commend you for the growth that you have taken because you're not as angry as you used to be.
Yeah,
now,
you don't give yourself enough credit for that.
If you see me coming in with the usual face I have, something's probably good. But if you see me coming somehow with a more down-looking face than I usually do, yeah, you probably gonna need to talk to me.
Right. Yeah, and that's okay. And speak life into you, mean?
Yep.
Well, you have a fun-loving family that keeps you high, keeps you up. And so, and Bernard's like that too. Yeah, he has
we play Uno.
Yeah, he has a very fun-loving family, don't you?
Yep.
Love playing Uno, love playing games with them.
Good.
I commend you as well,
I'll
Marquis.
tell you one thing, my mom ain't the one to play with.
Yeah.
She ain't.
Good.
I commend you as well, Marquis. One of the, how old are you again, Marquis?
12.
You're 12, and you can admit that you have anger issues.
You
can admit that. It's a lot of adults that won't admit that.
Right.
Right. So, and what I learned, growth only happens when you're able to look at yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself. And you just proved twice already. One, you admitted. Two, you have grown. He just told you. We're 2 years later from 2020, and you're not the same Marquis that he met 2 years ago.
That's right.
So, man, congratulations on that, man. And obviously that's going to continue to be a thing you do.
And you're taller.
Yeah, you are taller. Literally, just last year you were not taller than me.
Yeah.
I remember. I have pictures.
Yep.
In my phone right now.
She's taller than you right now.
No, and last time we was together at a project, we took a picture with everybody, and you were slightly shorter than me, man. You was at least like right here.
Yeah.
And I'm 5'4", so you had to be probably 4'11" or 5 foot at the time, 5'1" maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, you big now.
Yeah, you 5'4"
I know y'all
right
people probably trying to get to bed now, so I'm gonna just wrap up my anger issue session, you could say.
Okay, go for it.
I will say this. I am still learning a lot. And there are still some things that I have to learn. But we all have something that we can do to get through it.
Like what? Like
Hey, we all
what
have
advice
someone
would
you
you
can depend
give
on.
to a young person that's dealing with some anger
That's
issues?
a good question.
Like, what would you say?
Heck, don't let them get to you. And I can't lie to you. What anybody else says doesn't matter. As long as you're listening to yourself. If you be honest to yourself, then screw them. I don't give two dangs
For your
about it.
advice.
What advice would you give to young people like Marquis, Bernard?
Well, Marquis has been an impressive human being today, man. So thank you. And I'm delighted to kind of share this for you to be the co-host today and have me on this podcast. So I would say Marquis said, he said a lot. You will always have someone saying stuff about you. You're going to run it. We call them naysayers. And it's important that you don't, like you said, don't listen to the naysayers, but you look and believe in yourself.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me of something.
What?
See, I'm on YouTube a lot watching YouTubers. I watched a specific one YouTuber named Sunday. He literally made a video about how he has haters on about his autistic sticker.
He's autistic.
Autistic,
Okay,
happy
yeah.
personality.
Yeah,
He even said, his personality ain't for everyone.
that's
If
right.
you don't
That's
like
true.
it, get out. You're known as a downer, and we don't want you here. Don't come back.
That's right.
Yeah.
You could be the sweetest apple in the bunch or the sweetest peach, but
and
not everybody
still
likes
be able to say
peaches.
something like
Not
that.
everybody likes peaches.
Not everybody likes peaches.
Yes.
All right. And so you were saying, Bernard, like your advice.
Yeah. I was really going off with Marquis. Again, this brilliant young man has stated already the importance of you're going to have people saying things, right? So it's not about if people are going to say things, but when they say things, how do you handle that, right? How do you handle the pressures of your peers, right? Your ability to look in the mirror, believe in yourself, be confident in yourself, trust the fact that
Are
you
you
are.
asking me a question?
No, I'm making a statement. Trust that you are amazing.
Right.
And when you believe that and trust that, and the people who fill in a gap for you affirms that, then you're going to be okay. You don't have to follow the naysayers. You can actually, put one foot in front of the other every day, knowing that you are trying your best, as you've
Right.
stated already, Marquis.
Hey,
Amen.
we got a lot of, what are they called again?
What?
Co-signers. The people who
Co-signers, yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of those in our class, and I won't lie to you. I will say this.
I won't lie to you.
Yes, I'm gonna keep saying it.
That's to be a title of this episode.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you.
Yep.
Don't lie to you. But my last question for both of you then is, our mission at ProAct is to stand in the gap for vulnerable populations while empowering youth to actively transform their communities. And part of doing that is recognizing the people that, one, stood in the gap for us, the purpose of this show, but then also showing your gratitude and gratefulness for those people that have done something for you. And so my question to close this out is, who is someone in your life that you would like to thank and why?
I'll start this off.
Start it off, Marquis. Let's hear it.
I'll say, my brother.
Tell us.
He's there with me a lot, man. I won't lie to you.
I won't lie to you. Please
We're
don't.
doing this again. Yep. He is there for me a lot, and he helps me get through some stuff. Now, I realize a lot of stuff after I've done it. And one day, he wasn't doing something, trying to cheer me up. I told him to leave me alone. And at the end of the school day, when he came back, I apologized to him because I know he did not deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
He was just trying to cheer me up. I got one last statement on
What's
the
your
angers.
brother's name?
Mark. I got one last statement on this anger issue thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of co-signers of the naysayers. And I'm over here like, if you don't shut the heck up. No, people be in our class be trying to roast people like, bro, you're not funny either. Like, bro, shut up. Put some tape on your mouth.
How can you say that nicer?
Please, quit.
Okay, that's so
But
much
also-
better. Practice that.
But I swear, I'm going to say one last thing, and then I'm going to try and rephrase it.
You're not gonna lie,
How
are you?
long ago?
You're not about to lie, are
Yeah,
you?
he's not gonna lie.
How long ago did your dad leave to go get milk for you to do this? How long ago? Does your family not like you or something? Because why do you do this? Everybody here, every naysayer, I got a question. Why do you do this?
People, again, don't understand people's experiences. So I'll leave it at that. And I want Bernard to
I got
share
so much flipping
who
cotton in
he
my
would
pocket.
like to thank and why. So go ahead,
Yes.
Bernard.
I would like to thank a lot of people I would like to thank at this point in my life.
One person.
I had so many people at pivotal points in my life. I've already said one. Let's go with probably the first change maker in my life. I would say my grandmother. She's 93 years old. She's still living.
Oh, wow.
Still in the same house that when we first moved here that she was living at. And she allowed my dad and I and my sister to all live with her when we transitioned from Chicago. My dad got in a car accident when I was, 2 years old. And he was dead upon arrival at the hospital.
I didn't know that, Bernard.
Yep. And he was revived, and he was in a coma for over a year. And during that time, my mother, who I stated already had an addiction, she left us with some friends. She didn't know my dad was in a car accident. Because of her addiction, she stayed away for some time. This friend already had tons of children of her own. And so she called CPS and they took my sister and I. And it was my grandmother because my dad, he was in a coma. So if it wasn't for my grandmother coming to get us, that's another one. I don't know where I would be as well. So my grandmother stood in the gap when my dad couldn't speak for us and be there for us. And my mother wasn't there for us. And she took us in for the next about 2.5, 3 years. Miraculously, my dad came out the coma. They said he wouldn't. And they said he wouldn't walk or talk again. And he did that. So I would say my grandmother was the one who stood in the gap in one of the most pivotal times of my life where I couldn't even fend for myself because I was so young. So shout out grandma.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So Bernard, thank you so much for your time and thanks for sharing your story.
Yep.
Marquis, thank you for your energy. Thanks for your honesty and thanks for not lying to us today.
Now,
Thank
close
you.
this out.
Yes.
One
this out.
last joke.
Okay, tell us a joke. Let's go.
Well, let's do
What's
this.
the dragon's favorite food?
Fireflies.
Hot Cheetos.
Firecrackers.
Firecrackers. I love it.
Firecrackers.
Hey, thank you all so much.
Now, let me ask you, who stood in the gap for you? What are the words that changed your life? If you can answer that question, then I want you on the show. Send me a message at Derrin@proactindy.org. That's Derrin, DERRIN, @proactindy.org.